Welcome to the Cover 2 presented by Tigervision. This is episode 60. Yes, we've made it to 60.
Milestones.
Yep. This is Grayson. I'm Patrick. We're here every week talking about the NFL. We're back again talking about the NFL. So, Grayson, it is episode 60. It was just week 3. Patriots got a win.
Feels good.
Does it feel good? You only won by 5
It was
against the
a
Jets.
gross, rainy day in East Rutherford. But you know what? All I see is a 1-2 record, not an 0-3 record. And you know what? I can take that until the Cowboys. We play the Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys didn't look great.
They did not. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, okay.
But,
okay.
I
Well,
mean,
do you want to go ahead and talk about that?
We're just diving in.
Yeah, there you go.
I did just want to acknowledge something that we here at the Cover 2 are acknowledging the social internet breaking viral sensation. You heard it right. Did Mac Jones hit Sauce Gardner in the nards? Did he do it?
So I'm gonna be honest. I saw this clip, and everybody was talking about how he was such a dirty player. And I'm gonna be honest. I was watching it over and over again and could not figure out what was happening.
There have been some questionable things from QB1 in New England. I'll be the first to admit it. It's a little. I don't think he's a Grayson Allen level where you're really? I think that he does some very questionable things, but I don't think
far out there. I'm gonna find this video.
I don't think he tapped Sauce Gardner in the, as he quoted it, the private area.
Let's look at this.
But I know you probably were thinking, is he going to talk about a certain pop star being at the Kansas City Chiefs game? Maybe, but yeah, it's certainly a video that if you look at it the right angle, maybe you can see it, but I don't really know.
It's kind of tough to tell. I'm getting the film in right now. I mean, Sauce obviously wouldn't have just pushed it. I don't think he's there to just push Mac Jones over like that. I think Mac obviously did something to him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was one of those just coming up, trying to maybe tap him on the stomach or something. He just goes. I'm not trying to defend it, but
I don't know. Mac's kind of a.
Max kind of a
he's
dog.
the Grayson Allen of the NFL.
Oh,
you said he's not Grayson Allen level, but he's pretty far up there. So.
He's not tripping people.
Isn't he though? Last year, he supposed to kick somebody. Again, he's aiming for that area a lot. Supposedly.
He is. Maybe he's like Christian Wilkins, where he's just going for it.
I don't know. He's pretty far up there. Bit of a dirty player. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I know you don't like it.
If you're going to be this dirty, you got to be better than Mac Jones.
This is true. Maybe Patrick Mahomes can get away with a nut tap.
Maybe. But let's talk about the game.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Gross. But I think the difference of the game, which was New England was not able to do last year, which is New England had only one way of scoring. It was 12 play, very methodical drives. Sunday you saw it was very nice play design. They ran the ball a lot. They brought the Jets linebackers and safeties down. And then who would have thought Pharaoh Brown, the practice squad tight end for the Patriots, gets a 60-yard touchdown. That's what New England needs to continue doing if they want to be successful, is getting those cheap pop plays. And I hate the word to call them cheap, but it's more about they need quick drives. They need to be able to have
That's what the Patriots are all about. Cheap.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There it is.
Yep. Pharaoh Brown, leading receiver on the day. So
yeah, there you go.
Good for him. I had the Jets down in my duds category. We're doing the studs and duds thing. This is definitely a dud. Jets and Zach Wilson, they got to figure out what they're doing here because the defense is already revolting on Robert Saleh. Everybody thinks he's too much of an apologist towards Zach Wilson. He clearly, I think at this point, you hate to bash on people, but I just don't think this QB position for the New York Football Jets is cut out for him.
I've watched way too many games with Zach Wilson and said they had even Trevor Siemian, who they did sign, said they'd be a playoff team last year. Their Jets, the defense in the roster as currently constructed is a Super Bowl roster with a Pee Wee football quarterback. It is unlike anything I've ever seen before. With the Raiders with Jamarcus Russell or the Browns with Johnny Manziel, the team all around was terrible. Yeah. But this team actually has a chance to win football games, and at least with the Patriots, they should have beaten them 3 straight times in a row because New England offense can't move the ball against the Jets defense like many struggle to do against a really well-coached team. And the quarterback comes out there 3-and-out, interceptions. They just find different ways to lose. I'd be frustrated if I was a Jets fan.
I would be too. The vibes are just not great right now.
Someone lost their teeth?
Yeah, the Michael Carter's yelling at his running backs coach, Garrett Wilson. Supposedly there's a video of him talking about this dude can't throw. I don't know if that's what he said, but it probably was something like that if we're being honest. The vibes are nowhere near as good as they were in Hard Knocks when Aaron Rodgers was healthy.
Oh, man.
They're going the ski.
Yeah, they're doing like you've seen that celebration that him and Rodgers have where it's like
the handshake. You clipping the blunt, putting it out on. I can't remember who
here
they
at Tigervision. We do not condone drug use in any way, shape, or form.
Of course not. But we're just objective view.
Yeah,
that's what the handshake is, and it was pretty good. But they got to figure out what they're doing here.
They do. I think that they're probably Trevor Siemian wasn't probably the one that moves the needle. I still hear Kirk Cousins rumors being floated around.
I mean, I think that would be a home run if
it
they
makes
could get him.
way too much sense because Kirk Cousins having a career year so far, and you get a receiver like Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard's a nice compliment. Tyler Conklin's a really nice tight end as well. Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook.
Former Minnesota Viking
there's some
as well.
connections there. This team just needs something, and Kirk is on his last year of his contract. So you can ship him out after Aaron Rodgers is finally healthy.
Yeah,
so
and
we'll see.
Yeah, you said it makes too much sense that it probably won't end up happening.
Yeah.
They're probably going to end up riding with Zach Wilson for like 3 more weeks. Everybody's going to hate Robert Saleh.
This is the decision that gets coach fired.
And then they'll end up like Trevor Siemian finishes out the season. They finish 6-11 or something, and it'll just be terrible, brutal waste of a season. But if we want to talk about the Chargers and Vikings games, I did have that in my studs category, but specifically Justin Herbert is an absolute stud.
Herbo was on fire on Sunday.
Chargers, Vikings, we mentioned this game last week, and I was like, I think the Chargers are just going to, like, I don't remember if I said it was going to, like, be a blowout, but I thought the Chargers were a much better team. They only end up winning by 4. You have the Brandon Staley decision where, he's been so inconsistent with going for it, being conservative, being aggressive, and he goes for it on his own 24 to try and ice the game at the end of the game, does not get it. It gives the Vikings an opportunity to win the game, and they do what they've been doing all season and turn the ball over.
So I actually watched this game with a Chargers fan, and he told me this exact quote. It was, Grayson, I don't know why Staley can't stick to one philosophy. It feels like he's, like you said, inconsistent. So I'm watching this with him, and he's like, okay, we have a chance to really ice this game. Maybe get up more points, have more reassurance. What are we doing here? But I think this was both two teams who, when you look at the Vikings, 9 one-possession wins last year, their luck was eventually going to flip on them, and it clearly has so far because I think they've lost 3 one-straight possession games.
Yep.
So you have two teams that are trying so hard to find a way to lose this one. They're like, hey, no, you should get Caleb Williams. No, we want Caleb Williams. Maybe they're both tanking. I don't know. Who's to say?
Yeah, but Justin Herbert was fantastic.
Yeah.
He went 405, 40 of 47, which is the highest completion percentage of a quarterback who throws over 45 passes.
Wow.
4 touchdowns.
Herbo.
Keenan Allen was just like that old guy at LA Fitness going to hoop. Comes in, has all the fundamentals, gets 205 receiving yards. Just like that guy in LA Fitness who has, the killer bang shot, the killer corner 3, comes in with the knee pads, the high socks, the and one shorts, all that stuff. He just came in. He's been fantastic this year. But what do the Vikings do? I mean, we talked about Kirk Cousins. What do you do if you're the Vikings?
I could see if you're Kevin O'Connell here, Kirk Cousins, and you're like, look, we're close. This is not a bad football team by any means. They've been in every single game they've played. It's not like they're getting run off the field like a Chicago or a Denver Broncos. Good Lord. This is a good football team. They were in the playoffs last year. I think if they continue to stay winless, and it's like 0-5, 0-6 territory, you got a problem. But they play the Panthers next week. They play the Chicago Bears. They play the Chiefs at home. They could be 2-4 in a division that's not as strong. Like the Lions have sort of, after the Chiefs game, come down to earth. The Packers with Jordan Love, they're sort of squeaking by wins with the Bears in that comeback win against the Derek Carrless Saints team. And you could probably theoretically think, okay, we still have a chance to really go all in and make this happen. So they need to win this week. If they lose to the Panthers, there's a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I think you could get a decent amount for Kirk Cousins. Maybe I don't know. You might be able to get a first-round pick. I don't know. Especially if it's from the Jets.
You got to get somebody who's desperate. And I feel like the Jets would be at this point in the season.
If you can get a good draft pick for him, a good draft pick or two from Kirk Cousins, I totally would. I think I would lean towards doing that. I mean, Brian Flores, the defense has been better. But they have some young pieces. Jordan Addison's looked good. Justin Jefferson obviously is fantastic. The Jets traded for Cam Akers. I mean, I don't know if he's good or not. You know, Sean McVay was in and out on him all the time, playing him and then deciding to trade him wanting to trade him and then liking him again and then finally trading him.
No kidding.
But I think it'd be really enticing if you're a Vikings fan to, oh man, we tanked and shoot, we have Caleb Williams now.
Yeah.
Or, shoot, we got Drake May now.
Darn.
That's so unfortunate.
Just
but
terrible.
I think it would be awesome. Caleb Williams to Justin Jefferson would be electric.
I would salivate.
With a pretty solid offense, Kevin O'Connell obviously coming from Sean McVay. So I think that's where I would lean if I were the Vikings, because I think if you're able to kind of reset this team, not totally reset it because they're still pieces, but kind of be bad for a season and do kind of what. Obviously, they aren't the same talent of roster, but what the 49ers did a few years ago where Nick Bosa was injured, Jimmy Garoppolo got injured.
Just throw in the towel.
Yeah, and they ended up, getting Trey Lance, which obviously didn't work out, but, getting a high draft pick in order to potentially put yourself right back in that position.
I think I could see that happening, especially if they drop a game against the Panthers, who aren't very good either. Then you're really looking at because the Jets are going to continue to struggle. So I could see these two paths intersecting. So maybe I'm rooting for a Panthers win to see Kirk Cousins on the Jets. That'd be kind of fun.
And an Andy Dalton win.
Yeah.
Got to root for Andy Dalton.
Got to root for Andy. He's a good guy.
The Red Rifle. You got a stud or a dud?
I got studs. Former Eagles assistant coaches, Jonathan Gannon and Shane Steichen, both took W's this weekend. Shane Steichen with Gardner Minshew against the Baltimore Ravens on the road. And Jonathan Gannon, who we've both made fun of on this show repeatedly, earned my respect. The old saying that teams take on the identity and personality of the coach. This Cardinals team, through the first 3 weeks of the season, have been frisky. They've been well-disciplined in certain areas. Like, they're not perfect, and they certainly don't have the best roster, but they certainly aren't playing like they're trying to go 0-17 and get Caleb Williams.
Are you saying therefore that Jonathan Gannon you would describe as frisky and self-disciplined?
He certainly doesn't appear like that, but we don't see what happens behind closed doors. So this team clearly is playing for their coach so far. I really am excited to watch Cardinals football. I didn't think I'd say that.
Yeah, they've been in our studs category 2 weeks in a row now. Because I remember I had them last week. You put them in again.
They're trying.
They're trying, but they're winning. I mean, they're probably not going to win that many games, but if you're a Cardinals fan, you're like, bro, come on now.
1-2.
I'm trying to also get Caleb Williams. So, or do you keep Kyler Murray? I don't know. Is
Josh Dobbs the answer?
What would you prefer? Yeah, Josh Dobbs has looked really good as well. So
I would probably prefer a reset. I mean, they're still going to probably lose a lot of games this year just because of the talent discrepancy, rookie head coach. Josh Dobbs has some limitations within his game, even though he's the astronaut.
He's looked solid. Although, did you see this video? He went to go buy a custom jersey.
Yeah, Duds, Arizona Cardinals team store.
Yeah, his jersey was not. His name was not listed in available players to get a custom jersey.
How dare they?
The starting quarterback for an NFL franchise cannot get his own jersey.
It's terrible. But on the other side of it, with Shane Steichen, coming with a solid game plan on the road, I certainly didn't think they'd win this game without Anthony Richardson, even though I really like Gardner Minshew, just because I think the Ravens are a really good football team this year. And they really came in. They shut Lamar Jackson down for the most part. There was a questionable PI call at the end with Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
But you got to take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves. And they went and went on the
Matt Gay, man.
Matt Gay. Won some fantasy games on Sunday.
He was fantastic. I think he had, was it 350-yard plus?
Yeah.
350-yarders. And Justin Tucker missed a 60-yarder, which you assume to be automatic. So, Matt Gay isn't a bad kicker, but roles reversed a little bit. Some some bad juju in the Ravens locker room just because Justin Tucker missed a Justin Tucker gimme.
Might have to be.
The Ravens are still good. The Colts, I think, are looking really, really solid. Anthony Richardson, I think, is practicing this week, so he might be back.
I love watching that man play.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. Josh Downs has looked all right, I think.
Yeah. Dare I make a bold prediction? I think the Colts could compete for this AFC South title here.
Yeah. If we're talking about the AFC South, I have studs.
Okay.
A stud is the Texans.
Yeah.
We can talk about the AFC South in general, but the Texans beat the Jaguars, another AFC South team who's been, after their first week, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Underachievers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Offensively, they really had a lot to be desired.
The red zone has not been great. They've been able to move the ball, but in the red zone especially, they've been not good.
Yeah,
terrible,
no kidding.
Some might even say. But regardless of the Jaguars right now, the Texans are looking fantastic. C.J. Stroud, I think, is probably the front runner for Rookie of the Year right now. I know it's only been 3 weeks. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I should say. But he's looked really good. He's thrown with a ton of anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
Tank Dell has looked really, really solid, and Nico Collins as well. C.J. Stroud is proving that he's able to do all the things he did at Ohio State without having Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr., Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, all those guys. He's proven that he's, what he did in college, he can do in the pros.
It was like he was playing, do you remember obviously the semifinal where he played against Georgia, and we finally got to see him where the pocket was breaking down, where he was having to improvise and make some throws on the run. The thing I wanted to see from C.J. Stroud was can he play comfortably in really uncomfortable situations? And so far, through these first 3 games, he's proven very well so, yes.
Yeah.
And the Jaguars, really felt like he was putting it all together. Like the first 2 games, there was a lot of trial and error, still playing really well, but like you said, throwing with anticipation. He's really, really accurate. I think that was one of his trademarks going in the NFL. There were some throws he was making against Jacksonville where I was sitting there going, that's what I saw at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely translated. And then on the other side of the ball, Will Anderson's a beast.
Yeah. I don't like that he's number 51.
It's gross.
It's so bad for Will Anderson.
Disgusting.
Will Anderson, he's one of the few DNs that I think could get away with a single-digit number.
I think he should wear 0. Like, give it to him.
Yeah,
I would like
0
to see
could
it.
work. I like him. What was he? He was 31 at Alabama. 31 kind of worked for him.
Yeah.
I think if he wore like 3, that could be cool.
Oh, that would be cool. Shout out XT.
Although I guess Tank Dell is number 3, so that wouldn't work. Or like 11 or something.
Yeah.
But regardless, he made a very similar. C.J. Stroud made a very similar touchdown throw in this, or it wasn't a touchdown throw because Dalton Schultz dropped it, but it looked very similar to one of his out-of-structure touchdowns against Georgia in the semifinal, where the pocket collapses, he rolls out to his right, throws it to the front corner of the end zone. Dalton Schultz just dropped it, but it hit him in the hands, and he should have had a touchdown.
Pretty ball. I went and did some stat checking. He's the 3rd player in NFL history to have over 900 passing yards in his first 3 starts. That's joined, I think, with Cam Newton and Justin Herbert.
Wow.
That's pretty good company.
Yeah, that's fantastic company. So I think he's looked poised. He's looked cool under pressure. He's got to play T.J. Watt this week, though.
Yeah, so we're going to really see all the things that have been going into these first 3 weeks. Can he apply them? It's like these have been his first couple tests or quizzes. This is his first true examination.
Yeah, I think so. Do we want to do a dud?
I got a story for you, Patrick.
Let me hear the story.
So let me tell you a story of a head coach that used to coordinate for the New England Patriots. His name's Josh McDaniels. We've talked about him a little bit on this show. So take me, close your eyes if you're watching the show. Close your eyes with me. Pretend that you're a Raiders fan. You've endured a long suffering history. You've had some spurts in the playoffs, most recently 2 years ago, with a pretty solid special teams interim coach. You're feeling pretty good. Creative offensive mind, Josh McDaniels. He's had some blips in the past, but he gets to work now with Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs. You're feeling pretty good. You're shaking your head with me, I know. And so you get to this night. You're 1-1. The offense is really getting momentum. You're like, this is the Raiders team I want to see. You're down 8 with 2 minutes to go. But wait, what's that? The special teams unit's coming out. And Josh McDaniels afterwards says, it was a 2-possession game anyways, but Josh, you can go for 2 in the NFL. And then your fellow Raider fan quits. And I want you to open your eyes and read this with me. This fan revealed that the last 20 years have been the darkest of darkest days. James S., or at Raider Bruin 83, has given up. He put out a note like his family member had died. And I'm just going to read some bit of it for you. So, dear Raiders, I've been a fan since the day I was born in September of 1983. Also the last time this franchise won the Super Bowl. Pretty good start for a young life. At 9, I moved to the Philippines from LA, but I continued to follow this team. Connected. This was before the time of the internet. And so he keeps going on in here, talks about the talk rule and how it gave him famous heartache. He says, these last 20 years have been nothing but darkness for me, and it's taken a toll on his mental health. It has gotten so bad in Raider Nation that we got fans quitting for their mental health. Patrick, weigh in for me. How does that make you feel?
You know, the only thing I feel right now is that you should be like an audiobook reader. That was awesome. You know, I felt like I was transported to.
Okay, cool. That's what I wanted to do.
Objectively, a worse dimension because I was transported to being a Raiders fan.
It's not a good feeling. It's really not a good feeling.
Yeah, like you said. I feel bad for that guy.
I do.
It sounded really sad. Hopefully he can find a new team. I don't know how he goes about deciding what team to root for, or if he's going to root for a new team at all.
Maybe Raider Nation welcomes him back with open arms.
You know, a Raiders team that's really good, Walton High School, my former high school. They're like top 20 in the country in high school football right now.
High school football.
If he's looking for a Raiders team, that'd be a good one to follow.
At least he could still wear the silver and black and feel pretty good about it. Well, I know
we're blue and red, so it wouldn't work.
Well,
but
still,
if he's looking for a Raiders team, that's one to follow.
That just hurts my soul.
It does hurt my soul as well.
I never want the NFL to get so serious that I'm losing sleep over. I can imagine this guy has got like a Raiders man cave in his room, and he went to bed that night and just eyes staring at the ceiling.
He's got to paint over the walls now.
I mean, do I dare? I mean, we're gonna bring this tombstone out earlier, but
we could bring it out for the Raiders.
Josh
we'll bring it out for
McDaniels'
another team in a second as well.
Coaching career. Here lies Josh McDaniels' head coaching career.
What does he bring to the team? Like, what is Josh McDaniels' like strength? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Andy Reid, he's a fantastic offensive play caller. There aren't many Andy Reids, but Andy Reid, fantastic play caller. You know, Sean McVay, also fantastic play caller. Kyle Shanahan, also fantastic offensive play caller. D'Amico Ryans, he's got a really, really good defense brewing in Houston. What does Josh McDaniels bring to the Raiders?
Well, you think it'd be the offense that he's run in New England so successfully, but especially with the weapons that he had. And he never had a Devontae. I mean, you could say, but he had Gronkowski and Edelman to work with, but you got Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow. They brought in Jacoby Myers, who he's familiar with in the offseason. Jimmy Garoppolo, who he coached early in Jimmy G's career. So you thought all the pieces were coming together. And the Raiders at times last year looked okay. You're like, okay, I can see where this is going. But it just feels like the stage might be too big for this guy. We've seen it not work in Denver. We've seen some questionable decisions where he like bailed on Indianapolis in 2018. I just don't think the Raiders have the right guy. And I could see...
I don't think so.
I don't know who would be the potential replacement.
You know who it is?
Okay.
Rich Bisaccia. Bring him back.
Bring him back. Let's go.
They haven't been as good since they decided not to hire him as the head coach. They haven't been that good.
They haven't been as rich in W's.
Yeah. What's Rich Bisaccia doing right now? I think he's on a team somewhere. I want to say like Minnesota, maybe.
Why did they expel him there? That's terrible. He is a special teams corner for Green Bay.
Green Bay. Well, he probably doesn't want to leave. Green Bay is a good team.
Bring my man's back to...
Yeah, they need to bring him back.
He clearly had something over the team. They were 10-7. They were winning close games. Derek Carr, the best year of his career. He had that little like hype video. I'm sure you've seen it where he calls a timeout and he's got the smirk on his face to like get the game-winning field goal for the playoffs.
Maybe. I don't know. It's been a minute since Rich Bisaccia was the head coach there.
True.
But, yeah, Devontae Adams might want to be traded.
here, come here.
Josh Jacobs is not looking as good as he was last year. It's tough for the Raiders.
Yeah, it really is.
You know who else it's tough for? This is the reason we brought this out.
Yes.
It's the Chicago Bears.
R.I.P. And the Denver Broncos. But that's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, but it's a little more the Chicago Bears. I feel like there was a lot more hype. I mean, there was hype with both teams, but there was a lot of MVP hype with Justin Fields, and he is just not that guy.
I think Fields' issue has been, for all of the great things he is as an athlete, and I thought that he was progressing too, is the way he's able to process certain things down the field. There's a lot of TikToks and like videos on YouTube breaking down what the problem is, and he's got guys wide open. And certain things that like he needs to have anticipation on this throw, where DJ Moore may be running like an 8-yard out, like easy stuff that he should be able to have mastered in year 3, and it's just not working out for him. And when you pair that with a defense that's not very good either, it's been quite the you-know-what show in Chicago.
Way to censor yourself.
I had to do it.
But yes, he has not been good, but the Bears have also not helped him out a ton.
It's very equal footing here for blame.
The offensive play calling has not been good. Like you said, the defense is not good, even though they spent a ton of money.
Yeah.
The defense has not been good. I mean, you don't really look at that roster and think it's much better than it was last year. DJ Moore, they got him, but they haven't really used him much.
Yeah.
You got Chase Claypool, who is just
he's
not
kind of just
giving
sleepwalking out there.
Yeah, he's not doing much. You traded basically a first-round pick for him. Justin Fields he's looked slow in the pocket, and they're not running him at all on
Which is strange
runs.
too.
Yeah, it's just not working in Chicago. I think everybody kind of needs to just move on. It's when you're in a relationship that's just not working, but you're afraid to figure out what you do next.
Gotta take
you're
that
hanging
step.
on by a thread. It's the backpack meme where it's like that thing is hanging on for dear life and the strap is like literally a singular thread. It's not great. Justin Fields, for his sake, I hope he goes to like San Francisco as a backup, or
Just learns and then maybe finds a chance to take over.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny if he ended up in San Francisco after they decided not to draft him or something. But just go somewhere where he can just sit and learn as a backup, come in maybe on like special packages, do the tush push, something like that. But yeah, the Bears, it's tough.
But as you mentioned relationships, when it came to the Chiefs game, Patrick, were you alluding to something there?
I mean, I wasn't thinking about the Chiefs
dare?
game, but yeah, I guess Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are a thing now. I don't know if are they dating now? Did they just hang out once? Like it's a one-time thing?
If you're sitting in the suite with the person that you went to go see, you're sitting with his mom, it's probably a strong indicator that something, at least it's either a very strong friendship, which is just interesting, or they're probably dating.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here at Cover 2 TMZ, we have no idea.
I don't know. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't really.
I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan. I would have been more interested if it was like Rihanna or someone, although Rihanna's, she's with A$AP Rocky, unfortunately.
No, it should be me.
But yeah, it's kind of funny. There's been some good memes that have come out of it.
Oh, the internet just sufficiently broke.
Is he a winner or a loser? Because most people are going to say winner because it's like he's dating potentially the most famous person in the entire world.
Yeah.
Probably most famous musical artist in the entire world.
At least right now.
But like if something goes wrong and she gets mad at him, he's going to have billions of people coming after him.
Yeah, I'd say billions.
Yeah. Billions of people coming after him and like, what are you doing? You stink. And that'd be a lot to endure.
He will always have Chiefs Kingdom though, and that's all he needs.
He'll have Mahomes. It was funny that they were like trying to get him a touchdown.
I mean, I would too. You got to get your boy. You got to impress the lady.
That's how you know they're tight.
Yeah.
When your boys are helping you out.
That's how you know.
Get a touchdown.
But I think does that wrap it up for us?
I feel like that wraps it up. Is there any games you're looking forward to this coming week?
Ooh, I mean, I'm looking forward to see the Pats play the
good
Cowboys. Just want to see kind of how that one goes. I think I want to see The Falcons and the Jaguars. There's a Toy Story.
They're over in Wembley.
Yes,
in
Wembley.
It's proper football. And it
I'm not gonna try.
on a bloody Sunday.
Yeah. And now we have the Ravens and the Browns. We really get to see if this Deshaun Watson thing was a one-time where he looked, besides throwing it backwards, he looked like himself.
For
the most part.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I think he still has not looked great. I mean, that throw was
We have the
terrible.
Tank Bowl, the Broncos and the Bears.
Yep. The Bears do have the Panthers' first-round pick, so it may make sense for them at this point, I think.
Yeah, maybe so.
See what you can maybe get for Justin Fields. Lions-Packers, division rivals. Thursday Night Football, I think, will be really, really good.
Tomorrow Night Football.
Yeah, it is tomorrow night. Or, when you're watching this, today night football.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's happening.
Or maybe you're watching it on Friday and it's the day after night football.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Or maybe you're watching it in 5 years and it was 5 years ago
and
football.
It's an absolute classic that you remembered that you were watching Cover 2.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're watching Cover 2 on ESPN.
Making the predictions. Woo! Getting me excited.
Not.
Getting me excited. Makes me smile.
Those are probably the best ones. Oh, Bills-Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the best game this week.
How many points did the Dolphins put up this week? Over, under, 30.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like over, under
I wasn't going to
90.
go like ridiculous, but like...
I mean, I would be willing to bet they score over 30 points. But
you're first.
I don't know. The Dolphins have looked like the best team in the league. So it's been a lot of fun to watch them. The Bills finally have some sort of running game with James Cook going. So yeah, I think that'll be the best game.
All right.
Buffalo's favored by 2.5. But
sounds like a plan. We'll catch you guys next week for another episode of Cover 2.
Yeah. We want to thank Zach and Connor in the back
for undisputed.
For helping us out, for producing the show. We want to thank Tigervision. We want to thank all of you for tuning in, for hopefully liking, subscribing, commenting,
all the buttons,
sharing, tweeting. What do you call it now that it's called X? Post? Is it just posting?
Well, they have like posts and reposts. It's so lame, but that's for another time.
But yeah, thank you all, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.